Hi, lovelies. Welcome back to Esther's Song. So, today I want to share a love letter of kindness to each of you. You know, kindness is something that is not always easy to extend, especially when we're going through our own pain and suffering. But I want to encourage you that it's so important. It's so important. And it fills us up, it gives us strength, and it provides such a beautiful healing balm to those who may be in pain. That's one of the attributes of love is kindness, right? So in 1 Corinthians 13, I made a video about that earlier. And it says, love is patient, love is kind. And when I think of kindness, I think of action, right? I don't know how many of you are familiar the um, with the comparison of, East Coast and West Coast people. So a lot of people will say that people on the East Coast, like New York, which they're known for being, usually like really blunt and in a hurry and really fast. But they'll say that they are kind, but not nice, meaning they will help you out in a situation. Like they won't speak to you, but if they see you struggling with like your stroller or something on the top of the subway steps, they'll pick it up and help you down the stairs, and and then they'll just walk away. Right? That's New York kindness. As opposed to in LA, Los Angeles, the old adage is people in LA on the West Coast, they are nice, but not kind. So if they see you struggling with a stroller or something, they'll say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, that you're having a hard time, but they won't offer to help you. It's an empty platitude, right? And so one thing I love learning and studying more about love and kindness, one of my favorite books is All About Love by the author Bell Hooks, is that love is a verb, right? Kindness is a verb. And that's what makes it so different from being, quote unquote, nice, right? Like you can empathize with someone and you can see their need, but until you step in and actually do something to help them, then that's all it is. It's just an empty platitude. It's an empty, empathetic, kind of a shoulder shrug. And no one needs that, right? So one thing that I love is, if you see somebody in pain, you can reach over and hug them, or maybe even if they don't want to be touched, you can just sit there and offer support and listen to them, And that's kindness, just an extension of yourself and your vulnerability and being there for someone, spending time with them, quality time, or whatever their love language is, right? Gary Chapman wrote an amazing international bestseller called The 5 Love Languages. And I'm just off the top of my head, but I believe they are quality time, words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, and I'm forgetting one. Physical touch, gifts, words of affirmation, quality time. Oh, and acts of service. That's the kindness. Oh, I'm laughing at myself. I would forget that one. That's my favorite. It's been a long day, you guys, but I love this. I love coming and speaking with you. And I'm really glad that I'm laughing because I was crying earlier, but that's neither here nor there. The Lord put it on my heart to make this video, so I definitely want to, again, send you guys a love letter of kindness. This is my act of kindness, acts of service toward you guys, right? Being obedient to the Lord. So acts of service is, just that, right? Taking out the trash, or giving someone a hug in this slide, or, rubbing their feet, or just being there for someone, doing the small things which aren't really small at all, right? They add up to big things. Acts of service is huge. Not just talking about it, being about it. However, however, one of the other love languages, right, is words of affirmation. And so some people really, they need those encouraging, affirming words, and that's how they feel loved. And then other people, of course, gifts is self-explanatory, small little tokens of affection, physical touch, like I said here in this slide is hugs or, kisses or whatever level of intimacy or touch, they feel comfortable with. And I'm always forgetting one. Words of affirmation, physical touch, gifts, acts of service. Okay, well, they all add up to being kind. I'm gonna remember it later. And words of affirmation, gifts, physical touch, acts of service. Acts of service. I don't know. Anyway, moving right along. So, kindness is giving of yourself, right? It's really bothering me. I can't remember the fifth love language. Man. And I wish if I was like live, you guys could type it in the comments, but that's going to be later videos when I get more subscribers. So it will be very kind of you to subscribe to this channel. I would really, really appreciate it, and to like this video. But it's in the beginning stages, so I'm building up my subscribers right now. But yeah, so it's a love letter to you guys, and I'm feeling better already. So I really love YouTube. You can tell that this is me fulfilling one of the callings, one of the purposes that the Lord has on my life, because yeah, I was like boohoo tears earlier just about the state of the world and just over some things that, I was praying about in my own life. But kindness is action, right? It's a verb, and it's how we express our love for someone. And so, if you see a child scrape their knee, you go over there, kiss the boo-boo and clean the wound and, make them feel better, give them a little hug and, help them back on the tricycle or, whatever it is, and play with them, take their mind off of the pain. That's kindness, right? When you go bring flowers to someone in the hospital when they're sick and spend time with them, that's showing kindness. Any kind of selfless act is a beautiful act of kindness. And so my prayer and hope is that, I can encourage at least one person to be kind to another, right? It's a giving of yourself. So even if you are just kind to one person, that may stick with them for, 365 days, and they pass on acts of kindness to 365 people in their life, or it's a chain it begins a chain of kindness, right, to other people. So it's beautiful. One of the scriptures in the Bible, Isaiah, he was talking about how the Lord is present, giving power to the tired and reviving the exhausted, right? That's a definite act of kindness. And so power is about, the Lord leaning in our direction. He's showing kindness to us. And Isaiah was basically saying, we might be tired, but we're connected to the God who is not. He never sleeps. He never slumbers. And that is so kind to me. David writes about how he sleeps soundly and the Lord watches over him while he's sleeping. That protection, that shield, that's definitely an act of kindness. And I'm so grateful, you guys, because the Christian walk is not easy. Paul said it himself, and he went through a lot of, trials, tribulations, beatings. But, he compared it to running a race. And at the end of it, he said, I ran my race well. And so that's what my desire is, that, I would finish well, that the Lord will say, well done, thy good and faithful servant, at the end of my life. And I want to encourage all of you to show acts of kindness to your, other people in your life, family, friends, whoever, and so that he can also look at each of you, right, and say, well done, that good and faithful servant. That's, like I said, the second attribute of love described in 1 Corinthians 13 is love is kind, and that's what we're told to do, right? To love our neighbors as ourselves. It's not always easy. I'm going to even venture to say it's not easy at all, especially when we're going through our own hardships and sufferings. But it's worth it. And so I definitely am grateful that the Lord, put it on my heart to make this video and to encourage everyone to be kind as we delved into what kindness is. And it's so necessary. It's so necessary. If you could touch the heart and the life of just one other person, it takes your mind off of your own issues and it fills up your heart, it gives us that spiritual recharge. Like I said, I was just laughing, and it's great because I feel so much better than I did even a half an hour ago. So I love you guys for that. Thank you. And that's just me being obedient, right? And making this video, even though I was, kind of struggling earlier, right? So I'm still trying to remember that fifth, all five. Let's see, words of affirmation. Let's try it again. Words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, gifts. I cannot remember. That is hilarious. And I said them earlier too. Physical touch, gifts, words of affirmation, acts of service, and quality time. Oh, thank you, Lord. Let me remember. Quality time. Sometimes just sitting with someone in silence, right? Not even trying to fix their problem, not even, touching them or anything, but just sitting there, just spending time with them, sitting on opposite sides of the couch, reading a book, or, on the porch swing or whatever. That's showing kindness to someone, right? Just your presence, being there with them, just being in their company, is a loving act. It's a loving act of kindness. And so my grandmother and I used to sit on the porch. She was from the South, and she loved to just sit on the porch and people watch. And when I was younger, I was really restless and impatient. But what I wouldn't give to sit on the porch with my grandma and just, wave at strangers and people watch and, help her in the garden. I miss her every day, but that was an act of kindness, So I love you guys. I hope that you're having a great day. And I hope that the next person that you see, or even give them a call, show some kindness to your fellow man. Until next time, love you. Take care of yourselves and be gentle with yourselves and others. Goodbye.